I got a bunch of new products that I want to play with you, and I'm going to talk a little bit about them. Let's get started. So bellabeautébar sent me their new brush set. So we'll play with that a bit. I'll try to exclusively use these brushes throughout the video, and I'll let you know. Because I think it's a 22-piece set for $50, which isn't bad, and they're all synthetic, the more you know. I don't have any new primers or anything like that. These brushes are really pretty. Black and hot pink. And I've said this so many times on my channel, but I don't care. You know how every wannabe goth person had their color that they like to wear with black? Some people like to wear black and lime green. You know, I was one of those people who's like black and hot pink is the best color combination ever. I still like the color combination. I do feel as though I wear it less as an adult because it reminds me of my childhood, which is I know that everyone probably feels this way, but childhood is cringe. Why did we have to do that? I mean, I kind of miss being a child, you know, living with a child and seeing him get his whole zhuzh to literally nothing. It's I can't do that anymore. This top is from Dressed in Lala, and as I sit in front of you, I think I like it on camera. I haven't decided how I like it in real life yet. I also have some fashion content. I took a weekend off, and even though me and Cam weren't talking content. We talked a little bit about it, but we weren't planning content I wasn't bouncing ideas off them. I came up with so many ideas. I also have the stuff that I bought from DS and Durga. So a fragrance video is coming down the pipeline. We have that to look forward to. And a lot of people had a lot of feelings about that tan jumpsuit. So there will be a video where we try to style that to make me feel better about it. And maybe I'll decide to keep it. I don't think I'm going to do a video with this. Maybe I will if I continue to feel uncomfortable with it. The thing is, I think the problem is really the pants. It's not so much the top. I've never really been one for pattern. And so it just feels like a lot, but also it feels very me. So maybe what am I complaining about? Now we're to the first product. So I just primed my face with the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Rich Face Base. And on the nose, I used the Sisley Blur Expert. For the concealer / foundation situation, you may remember that I bought 3 different concealers at different price points. Well, I got one in PR and then I bought the other 2. The luxury concealer came in. It's from fara homidi. I promise by the time that video comes around, I will have looked up how to pronounce the makeup artist's name who owns this brand. So this is it. This compact is gorgeous. It's this beautiful bright red. And I got the shade Sylvette. And here's what it looks like on the inside. So it is a split pan. And if you've been here, you know how I feel about split pans. For those not in the nose, I don't care for them. Don't care about them. This is refillable. Hopefully you can see the little divot there. This packaging is beautiful and weighted. And I think the thing that is closest to is the Westman Atelier packaging, but this is much easier to open. The magnet's not as strong, and I find that this lip allows me to get in there a little bit better. I just haven't had any issues opening it. But it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, super luxe. And I've worn this concealer actually a couple times at work, a couple times while Cam was here. I'm actually really impressed by it. And I actually was not ready for that because this is not the kind of concealer product I typically use. I typically like something in a doe foot. Something in a pot like this is something I feel like I'm not going to use. But I think there's something to it being in this packaging that I really like interacting with that keeps drawing me back to it. The color, well, not like any of the other concealer shades that I'm going to be comparing it to, works really well. And then the thing on top is basically a balm highlighter. I want to watch if I can find something, if she's done an interview or if I could watch or listen to something to why that's what we're doing. So I think I read on the website that the concealer is supposed to be matte and then you're supposed to be able to control your finish with the balm highlighter thing. I don't know. I don't pick a lane. You know how I feel about people not picking a lane. So that's kind of whatever. But I hope that maybe one day down the line, because also her lip products are in a split pan like this, I hope we drop that. Or I hope we come to a point where I could just buy a full circle of the concealer and put that in here. Because I don't think I'm going to use that balmy highlighter very often. But I could see people maybe with really dry skin utilizing that. But if you have really dry skin, you know, it all depends. I'll put it on one half of my face so you can see it. I'm going to use the brush that I have been using for this, which is actually exciting. It's the Jumbo Concealer Brush from Sonia G. And if you're a longtime viewer, you'll know that I used to not like this brush at all. And it works really well with this. The brand has a brush that they sell for this product, but I didn't buy it because I was that's a bigger buy-in than the 80, I think it's like 80 some dollars. I got it from Moda Operandi, and like they had like a first time customer deal. So I just like, I utilize that, but it is an expensive product. And then it is refillable. I don't know off the top of my head, like how much those refills cost, but I'll pop it up on the screen for you. I got my shade from Fara Homidi's website. I've seen it on a couple websites. It's like this, I think it is like a database that like brands pay for, because I've seen it on multiple websites. Like I don't think she came up with this system herself, but like you kind of like put in your best match of foundation and they recommend what in the brand that you're shopping at, like what color. So I went off my Surat Dewdrop in 1.5 for this recommendation, and I think that it worked really well. They kind of sell it as a foundation. They kind of sell it as a concealer. It's very much giving the energy of like the Merit complexion stick, which like use it how you'd like. But like honestly, that's just like any concealer. You know, it's like it doesn't have to be like, doesn't make you special. So here it is all over the one half of the face. I used a little bit more than I have been using. I wanted you to be able to really see the coverage of it. I would say this is like light to medium coverage concealer, which I think is like the promise of all three concealers, which I think is great, because like that's much my speed. I think the shade is a pretty good match, but it does look incredibly, like it looks yellow in the pan, but it comes off pretty neutral. I think I also would want like a full size pan of the concealer, because if I probably would wear it mostly like a foundation. Kind of what I've been noticing I've been enjoying doing is just kind of using concealer as my complexion product, and just kind of just spot concealing the spots that are a little more red instead of doing it all over complexion product. But that might just be how I feel for the summer. But I think it's just because I've been using these concealers and I want to do ultimately like a video on them together. And I just think it's easier to see what the concealer can do if you put it all over your face, or you use it like as an all over product. I don't have anything new for bronzer or contour, so I'm just going to do that really quick. I hit pan in this over the weekend. We love a little bit of pan on this channel. We love seeing good use of the products that we love. You know what's so funny? Like literally seconds, I swear to God, seconds after Cam left, the house became a mess. And it's so funny. It's like we really held out, and then they stepped out, and it's like, okay, it's messy again. But we did laugh. It was like, it's just like, it just happened like that. Also, the child wasn't with us most of the weekend, so unfortunately he is the biggest mess maker in the house. Although I guess it's kind of what you would hope, is like the child is actually the biggest mess maker in the house, not the two adults that live here. But you do you if you're a messy person. That's none of my business, and if that's how you like to live. And I say, I mean that. Like, I mean that. That's how you desire to walk through this planet. And it works for you, great. Do you see how this side's doing that? This side doesn't do that. Why is only this side do that? This is why I think having like a shag haircut's gonna really work for my hair texture, is because like it's there. You know, there's texture there. I think that all of my hair also wants to swoosh this way. Like all of it wants to swoosh this way. None of it wants to swoosh different ways. But I think for a long time I've wanted like a fancy hair dryer. And maybe by the time my hair grows out, I could try to score one in PR. This is one of the bellabeautébar brushes. And I'm just going to try it with the Chanel bronzer. And as I said, this is just kind of like the bronzer I'm trying to use the most this summer. We are going to probably end up with a cool toned look, which this isn't my favorite bronzer for a cool toned look, but I also don't think I really care that much. I will say this batch of brushes, and I'm fairly certain it's still true for this batch of brushes, is that they private label these brushes, but I like these ones a lot more than the last set I was sent. And then they did send me the green ones, but I gave them to Elise Panda Replay on Instagram. I kind of did like this giveaway to people who are like content creators and makeup lovers on my Instagram close friends. And she put her name in for those, and she won them. You can also follow me at Instagram. It's linked down below, but I'm hautemesstom over there. I also have some other links at the very top of my description box where you can help a family that's in desperate need right now. This hair's crazy. This top is crazy. There's like so much happening. There's so much visual stimulation. Are you stimulated? Are you titillated? There's a product upstairs in my purse that we need to discuss, but maybe we won't discuss. Well, I feel like it would make the most sense discuss it in this video because I don't like the one lip product. We'll see when I get that far. We're to another new product from bellabeautébar. It's their Cheek Dewy Blush. This is the packaging, and I have the shade Rose Ritual or Rose Ritual. I think it's Rose. And this is what the applicator looks like. It's an interesting little applicator. Upon first seeing this, it reminded me a lot of Pillow Talk, the liquid oh god, that's so much, Tom. Oh no. Oh no, I've worked with this before. I know how pigmented it is, but you don't. So here I am to tell you that right off the bat will tell you that this is super pigmented, and I think people with a deep complexion will like this. And I also think it is more warm toned than the Pillow Talk liquid blush from Charlotte Tilbury, because the Pillow Talk blush has a lot of, it seems like there's a lot of gray in it. And I know with deeper complexions, gray becomes a concern of ashiness, but they do really seem like they're kind of like sisters. So this is the Dewy Blush from bellabeautébar, and this is from Charlotte Tilbury. So if you're looking for something more cool toned, that's that. But if you wanted something like this, but it wanted warmer, I would say that the one from bellabeautébar is it. I've worn this shade one time, but I put it on during a day where I wasn't wearing a ton of makeup, so it wasn't like the makeup wasn't the focus of my face that day. It was just kind of like I was throwing makeup on to like walk around. Really wanna be when I hug you, baby. What's the force? I wonder if this brush will work. This is another one of the new bellabeautébar brushes. That might be a bit too much. Like I said, this is super pigmented. It blends out pretty well, but like I have to be careful with this shade. It's just a little deep for me. But just because it's pigmented doesn't mean that it's bad. And also, if you didn't want this much blush, you could mix it in with a concealer or something. And I need to look at the range. I don't know if like Kristen picked this shade specifically because she thought I would like it, or it was just like what she sent to everyone. I'm actually not sure. But I'm wondering if there are some like lighter shades in this range, you know, I wouldn't have to be as careful with. I'm not sure. It's more blush than I'd like, because the real star of the show is going to be the eyes, because, well, you'll see when we get there, because it's a show. But I still have a ton of product left over. But also, if you like a pigmented blush and you have fair skin, perhaps this could do it for you. I need to move that away from me. It's like I'm wearing a shirt that has white in it, and I'm like, I will put my sleeve down into that, and I will be so mad because like this shirt literally came in the mail today. Okay, and then for a highlighter, I'm just gonna go into the Balmy highlight from Fara Homidi. I'm just gonna use my finger. I don't know. I can't see myself like mixing it. Like it's a balm. Like the second my finger touches it, it gets really melty. And I guess the things that it would remind me the most of is like the Balm Essentiel from Chanel. But I haven't really played with the balmy side of this concealer much to like have much of an opinion on it. It's just like, I just feel like that kind of thing is, I don't know why it's in a concealer. Like, I wonder, like, if you made, like, a highlighting product and you had, like, a glimmery highlight and that, like, kind of what Pat McGrath does, it would make more sense to me. I just don't know. But it is pretty. I like this. I'm making it sound like I don't like that kind of thing. I do. It's the it being part of, like, a concealer compact that I'm struggling with. Like, that's what I don't quite understand. And if someone from the brand is watching and, like, they can want to email me, my email's down below. So hit me up, because it's like, I'm just a little confused. Okay, I'm going to powder the perimeters of my face, and then we will work on the eyes. No new powders. I gotta say, I wasn't expecting to really care about these brushes at all, but now that I'm using them, I just think they're so pretty, and I want to keep using them because they're pretty. The concealer also really takes to powder quite well, but I found that with all three of the concealers I'm, like, trying for that video. But, like, I think I was the most concerned about this concealer because it is a potted concealer, and I just was like, I don't know about that. I've mostly been using this with the powder puff, but I was watching Teresa from Teresa is Dead using this powder, and she like hated it. I was like, oh, that has not been my experience at all. But, you know, I have oily skin, so my skin can take more powder, but I still don't find that it makes my skin look dry. The powder puff thing, I think, just picks up more product than a brush would, which I think might be the issue. It's so funny because I feel like I sit here and it's not like a a dig at any of the content creators I talk about, but it's like I'm trying to solve their problems for them in a video that they probably aren't gonna watch. Compliments to Teresa. So if you watch Teresa's channel at all, or maybe you don't. So Teresa did this thing called New Makeup Nonsense Bingo. The concept was originally started by Imperfectly M, and it was like this thing that they did. It's a just doing like a straightforward talking about new makeup releases. It was like a game. And then Teresa kind of revamped it. It's now New Makeup Roulette. And you can tell she put a lot of work into it, because one thing I can tell, if someone is trying something new on their channel and they really care about it, you can tell that they're nervous about doing it. But she put so much work into it, and I think it's great. And I love that there's an option where like she could randomly have to end the video at any point. That makes me so happy. I love that. Because like sometimes I'm like, maybe I need something that would randomly pop up and be like, that video ends now. And I would just have to be like, okay, bye, tits out. You know, like, wouldn't that be great? It would really cut down on my editing time. We're really making it close to this powder. I'm starting to be able to see the squares more on the outside, like the ceramic square thing that holds the baked powder in. And I have started already thinking, I'm like, am I gonna rebuy it? Probably, yeah. I probably won't run to buy it, but like I think there will just come a point where I'm like, okay, I miss it. I need it now. So bellabeautébar sent me a palette that they've had out for a while, but they restocked recently. She had told me that she was going to send it my way for a while. And she was like, it is a big palette, but I do, based on what you said, think that this is like the palette that I have that is the most you. And I like looked at their catalog once before, but like sometimes when I see a big palette, it's just an automatically no. It's like automatic no. So this is it. It is huge. It is huge. But I will say I think this is my favorite packaging. Just like the shiny packaging with their logo on it. Like not the most exciting thing, but I like that. And maybe I'm just boring. Am I I was about to try to like say, am I a minimalist? But let me show you this color story, because you're all going to be like, yeah. So this is in the old format. So these are not removable pans, which I think is maybe like the biggest bummer. What I love about this is that it's neutrals, but it has purples in it. And so like I love a cool toned look. But something else I love about it is like this bottom 2 rows on this side right here. Those are like gray greens. I would say that over the weekend, Cam and I, because this delivered the Saturday that Cam was here, and I feel like we just kind of kept coming back to this palette so many times just because they love lavender, and so we have a lot of options when it comes to like purpley looks. And I do want to say here and now, because who knows if Cam will ever post or when they'll ever post, I need to say this also to you so you understand like the status of my collection. They really liked the formula of bellabeautébar, and I actually gave them my basic witch palette because and I think that they are more inclined to play with color sometimes more than even I am. And it has those lavenders and has those like baby pinks, those like girly colors that they really like. We're gonna jump into this right now, which I'm so excited about. Like I think it's like duh. It is big. I think the fact that although I like the colors in here makes it just more appealing. Like, because I feel like whenever these color stories are really big, there's not a color story, but I do feel like there is a bit of one happening. Like, there's a through line here that I really like. It's smoky glam. Cam said, looks like it says smoky glow. Where is she? Where is Hannah? What is she doing? Is she okay? I know she posted, like, toward the end of last year, and she was like, I already have videos ready. Did they ever post? And perhaps the algorithm just isn't kind and wasn't showing them to me. So I'm just priming my eyes with the NARS smudge proof. Prepping my eyes with the NARS smudge proof eyeshadow base. I also just want everyone to know that like I was supposed to go to New York this weekend, and then I got invited to something else later on in the year that I was much more interested in doing, so I canceled my plans to New York. And I didn't tell Kelly Gooch, but I was like gonna annoy Kelly Gooch. So Kelly, if you're watching, I'm sorry that I didn't come. But I never told you, so you couldn't have gotten your hopes up anyway. But I wanted to go to a concert in New York. Roy Sheen Murphy's playing, but I also have like very complicated feelings about Roy Sheen Murphy right now, because she is one of my favorite artists, like musically, but like she did say something a while ago that a lot of people gave her the side eye for, and she like just kind of never apologized for. But I think it's like more nuanced and complex than something I want to talk about on here, because sometimes you're just tired. All right, so I'm going to use these bellabeautébar eyeshadow brushes. There are so many of these pink brushes. I love them. I love the color. Love that. So I do feel as though my blush is a little bit warm, so maybe I'll play with like the more warmer mauve-y shades that I probably will be the least used shades in here, as far as I'm concerned, which is totally fine. And I also think the lip that we're gonna use will be good for that. So basically, if you're looking at the palette at home, it's this corner up here has like the warmer mauve shades in it. So I'm gonna just kind of play up there. And as usual, as has been my experience with the last two palettes I tried from bellabeautébar, the mattes are still some of the best indie mattes I've ever used. Isn't that something? The brand also sent me another thing, which came in... Okay, I'll show it to you in a second. Let me finish blending the shade on and I'll show it to you because I was a little bit jarred by it. I'll just tell you the whole story when I show it to you. In fact, I'll tell you the whole story when I show it to you. And when I show it to you, I'll tell you the whole story. And when I tell you and I show you, those things will happen after. And in the edit, I find myself over-explaining. And I still think sometimes my over-explaining makes it into the final edit, which I'm not looking for feedback on that. It's something that I've clocked and I'm working on. But I don't need you to say it. Now that I've said it, we can all acknowledge it, but we don't need to say anything about it. Like, I know. But that's why I was just making that joke. It's because it's something that I've noticed about myself recently. bellabeautébar sent me this. And all of the shades in here are from bellabeautébar. And look at how big that pan is. And I was like, interesting. She just changed the sizes of her pans. And then she made a post about all of the new products coming out. And that was listed as a cheek product or an eye product. And I'm not brave and bold enough to wear that on my cheek. I know some of you are. I almost called you freaks, but I don't mean it. Let's swatch it. Because... yeah, no way. Maybe as a highlighter, but no way. Look at that. Not for me. Not for me. Not. I would put this on my eyes, but not on my cheek. Although, ooh, it is sheer. It is pretty sheer. It kind of reminds me of, very loosely, the Chimera from Ritual Decay. Like, it's not obviously the same kind of formula. Okay. Okay, I get it. So it's supposed to be a highlighter. I thought it was a blush because it does look pink in the pan from where I'm sitting. It's looked pink the whole time. And when I opened it and I was like, oh, beautiful. What a beautiful large pink eyeshadow pan. Beautiful pink. Beautiful pink. Oh, we made it to hello from the other side, 2022, Tom. 2023. What was I saying? I don't like pink. Someone, a hautemesstom historian can jump in and be like, Tom, you started doing that that year. I can't remember all the crap I say on this channel, but it is really funny. Some of you do be reminding me. Sometimes I'll say something and like, I edit these videos. I don't think for the crease there's anything in the Bella Beauté brush line that I want to use, so I'm going to use one of the new Refer brushes. New to me Refer brushes for the crease shade. No, I hate that too. Okay, I'm going to go to my Wayne Goss. That was short-lived. I'm going to go to my Wayne Goss brushes because I can't trust the Refer brushes. Although this corner of the Smokey palette, the Smokey Glam palette, it is really going with that blush. So if you have this palette and you like these tones and you were looking to buy more from bellabeautébar, perhaps you would like this blush. Again, what has the blush shade? It's Rose Ritual. I wonder if Cam went back home and told all of their friends. Yeah, Tom just kept saying, I've been a nasty girl all weekend. And I did. And I'm not going to apologize for it. Because I've been a nasty girl. That, what, my other vocal stem, which thank you everyone in the last video where I talked about vocal stems, but I didn't have the correct terminology for it. Thank you for guiding me and pointing me in the right direction. But one of my other vocal stems right now is, I'm so Julia. And I do say it like that. But if it's from 360, from Charlie XCX. And like the last line of the chorus is, I'm so Julia. But I have to turn it into a Broadway tune for whatever reason, which is so funny because I'm like not even like a Broadway girly. Like it's just not my fantasy. But I'm like, I'm so Julia. Another one of my favorite parts of this palette is there's a bunch of taupey, shimmery, silvery shades. So I'm going to show them all to you because that was like the first thing that I clocked. So I have it on all 5 fingers. Hopefully you can see my thumb in there. Look at those. But they all have nuances to them. Sorry, I've never done a thumb swatch, but look at those. Those. That's enough for the price of admission for me. But there's also some beautiful, like, more traditional sparkly indie shades in here. So we got some like flaky textures, some duochrome, some iridescence in here. Yeah. Ooh, that's hot. Can you see that? As I move my arm away, but like the angle, I can't get. Do you see it? Ooh, ooh. We might have to put that on the inner corner today, even though it doesn't really go. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. I think I'm gonna put this Velvet Crush shade, which I've not used, but it does seem to have like the warmth and the berryness of the shades I have going on my eyes and cheek. And there's a little bit of a reflect in there, and I think we're all gonna learn together what that's gonna look like on the eye. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. I'm not sure if it goes, but we've committed. It looked a lot warmer in the pan. If you want to be fair to me, if you choose to be fair to me. I also could have swatched it before I just was like, I'm going to put that on my eyes. And I'm using one of the silicone applicators that they sent me a couple PR shipments ago. I have found them really useful, but I haven't had them in front of me because I have so many brushes right now. I just like keep some of them in front of me, not all of them. Do any of you have the thing where you can see your mail before it comes in the day, like you can see the outside of the letter? Yesterday, there was something in the mail that was addressed to me that like looked like a wedding invitation, and I was like, no one's asked me for my address recently. Who do I know that already knows where I live is getting married? And it was a really scary time, but it turned out to be my cousin's daughter's graduation party. And then saying that series of things means nothing to you, but it's like no one of my cousin's children should be old enough to be graduating from high school. You know, like that just shouldn't be allowed. The shade I'm about to put on my eyes is called Imagine. And like, why would it say it like that? I think the texture of this is going to require not a fluffy brush. I think it's going to require maybe a silicone applicator. Gorgina. I love that color. I'm not even normally like someone who gags for like a blue flip. Something about this shade is doing it for me. And I imagine it with some of those taupes shades, like right on the center of like the bottom of my lid. Yum, 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 yum. Okay, I'm gonna throw on liner and mascara, and I will be right back, and we'll put on maybe a couple lip products together. I'm so Julia. When you're in the mirror, do you like what you feel? I'm using a mascara mini right now, and it is already hard for me to find a mascara in a regular size tube, but I'm going on a scavenger hunt whenever I am trying to find this. And it is the mascara that like is open that I'm actively using. All right, rolling up my sleeves. I gotta check out my sleeve. I am actually gonna film another video in this look, so maybe I'll put that on maybe I'll put that on. I'm a little bit scared because it did have a green flip, and I just don't know if I'm gonna like that with like the blue that I have on my eyes. Like, again, get into the blue. Jeez. Get into the groove, boy. You've got to prove your love to me. So bellabeautébar was also kind enough to send me the Lip Dewy Gloss. I love this component. I mean, a lot of the components from bellabeautébar are pretty like simple, which is totally fine. And I kind of actually like that there's just what it is on the front, and then the shade's just a sticker. But this is the shade Bombshell. It's very much giving the same energy as all of the lip products that every brand has sent me. Your skin is almost translucent, so you need the lightest shade. And this actually reminds me a lot of the Sigma lip cream. The color and the way it applies, so highly pigmented. I would think of it more as a liquid lipstick. I'm probably going to finish off with the other lip product and like wear that one instead. It has a bit of a candy smell, like maybe like a candy raspberry smell. It doesn't bother me too much, but it's definitely, you can smell it, and that's what it looks like. Giving very concealer lip. I don't know how I really feel about like a high pigmented gloss. I do think I'm in a translucent-y lip era, unless like the shade is like an incredible standout shade that I feel like I need to be wearing. I'm in my Lisa Rinna era. I know that Lisa Rinna has more hair, but that little flip at the bottom is like kind of just giving me Rinna hair. Okay, let me go get the other lip product and you can make fun of me because you're gonna. Do you want to say before I take this off? I did wear this one time. And I think it was because my lips weren't prepped. It was like, looked really weird on the inside of my lips. It's not doing that this time. So I think, God, I'm out of breath. I had to run up a flight of stairs. The patrons know that me and stairs, we don't really get along. I like that a lot better this wear. Not that it was uncomfortable or sticky or anything. I just didn't like the way it looked on the inside of my lips, but this time it was a lot better. I'm about to be like the laughing stock of my own. You're all about to make fun of me. And I deserve it. I deserve it for what I'm about to show you. A couple of months ago, I was out with my friend Kristen and I swatched this and I was like, okay, that kind of like looks and feels good on my hand. And then I was shopping with Rebecca. We went to Sephora. She needed some help with some makeup stuff. Had some skincare stuff. You know, we did like a fun, let's shop with hautemesstom and Tom will make a bunch of recommendations for you. And so we did. And we like closed down the Sephora together. So I was like, I'm going to buy it. And I've already put it on my lips. Like, so you may have clocked if you're new here that I used a disposable wand with this product. The reason I do that is because sometimes I don't like something and I can only keep so much of the makeup that I get to try. I want my makeup to be loved. And if I can't love it, I want to pass it on like as sanitarily as possible. But I knew that wasn't going to happen with this. I put this right on my lips. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Big Lip Plump Gasm. And it's in a fair to medium. It's kind of just like clear. Like it has a color, but it's kind of just like clear. It's a big chunky lip product. Like even like look at it versus the bellabeautébar lip gloss. It's a big honkin'. And then the lip applicator, the applicator is enormous and it holds so much product. Even for my lips, which I have big lips, so much product. It has a vanilla scent, but don't trust that. Before I say anything else about this product, I like a lip plumper. I like the intensity of like a lip plumper. I like a lip plumper. Like I love a lip plumper. I like the ones that I can feel because it makes it feel like it's doing something. This is by far and away the most intense lip plumper feeling sensation on the lips. And it's the longest lasting. Whenever I put this on, we like got in Rebecca's car and we like went to dinner and we were like past ordering and like we had our drinks in our hands already at the restaurant. And I was like, I can still feel this. I applied it as soon as I got into her car. It's just like an intense and long lip plumping sensation. And there's a bit of like, it doesn't smell like it, but there's like a bit of like a menthol cooling sensation that happens with it as well, which is unusual because most of the time it just kind of like burns. So I don't know if there is something that's burning my lips and then also something in it that's offsetting the burning feeling, but it is an intense feeling nonetheless. But I do think it makes my lips look really good. Look at it. It's intense though. This is like not for everyone. If you don't like an intense lip plumper, then it's not for you. Because I was really jarred by how intense it was. I really was. But then I'm also very into it, unfortunately. Unfortunately. And I know I said I was going to finish my other lip plumper, but I'm still working on it. I'm still using this for prep. But it's going to go away soon. I'm convinced it's almost empty. Couldn't tell you though. At least Charlotte Tilbury gave me a window. And that's, you know, it's me being nice to Charlotte Tilbury. As Cam said, you actually love Charlotte Tilbury. It's like, no, I don't. I have one final product that's new to talk about to you. So Urban Decay sent me the new all-nighter hyaluronic acid and watermelon fruit extract long-lasting makeup setting spray. And I do believe that this is supposed to be like better for people who have dry skin, but it's supposed to have the same longevity. So it smells like watermelon candy, like strongly of it. I also want to tell you, if you're not on my close friends, if you hadn't seen this, And if you're, I'm not, this is not an invitation to ask to be in my close friends. If you're there, you're there. If you're not, you're not. But I posted on my close friends. This came with the box that it came in just had like so many bouncy balls in it. And I'm like, what am I so, I'm 33 years old. I could have done with one. Like, I would have been really amused if there was one bouncy ball. I'd be like, ooh, one bouncy ball. There are so many. And the child I live with is too young to be handling a bouncy ball. Not because he would eat it, which I think he would put it in his mouth, but I don't think he would try to eat it. But he's now strong enough that when he throws something, he could do damage. And like the power of a rubber ball at our TV is probably enough to take the TV out. So we're not going to do that. So I'm really actually like hesitant to spray this on my face because it smells like watermelon candy. I think my brain's going to make me think that it's sticky. Although I just was shaking it and it feels like something's coming out. Or maybe I was actually spraying it a bit. I think that's what was happening. I think I was just holding down the sprayer. It doesn't, the original says to shake, oh, it says shake bottle well. So this one says it as well. All right. I'm not gonna like this. I like the original all-nighter, but I'm not sure how I feel about. Smells like watermelon candy. Oh, I hate that. Why couldn't it just be hyaluronic acid? Why does it have to smell like that? Also, I've used things that have watermelon extracts in them that don't smell like watermelon. It doesn't, that has to be artificial. Like, there's no reason it should smell like that. Like, I understand, like, there are probably benefits to something with the watermelon extract to my skin, but it doesn't need to smell like that. This is actually, and I've talked about this before when I do talk about skincare, which is very rare. I don't use Glow Recipe because most of their products smell like candy. And it's like, I'm 30, and that's no judgment to people who use Glow Recipe. I'm not saying it's like the efficacy of it diminishes because it has that scent. It's just like, for me, that's a deterrent because it's not even so much that I don't like fragrance. It's like, this is for kids. And a lot of people who are into like K-beauty skincare or, like Asian skincare are like, there's so many products that are like this, that are better, that are like drugstore pricing in the K-beauty world. So I feel like it's a scam. By the way, I've been watching so much of her content. If you don't follow Alice, who's Alice in the Rabbit Hole, she like reviews a lot of Asian beauty, but mostly like Asian skincare. And I have found it very helpful. I'm actually going to try some of the things that she recommends. Like, I think I'm going to move to like K-beauty oil cleansers because like the ones in America are so expensive and you don't get that much of it. And they're so cheap over there and you get like a ton of it. So like, I'm going to just move over there. I can still kind of smell the watermelon scent. I don't know. My skin doesn't look oilier, like glowier. I don't think. Look, I feel like it looks the same that it did. In fact, it maybe looks drier. I'm going to spray Fix Plus. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. When Cam was over and they were drying their face with this after spraying, they were like, I need one of those. I was going to offer to, like, I have a couple of these, like, not of the flawless one. I was going to offer one to them, but I feel like they had a carry-on and, like, I don't know. I feel like TSA might have been weird about those. Now I'm, like, more satisfied where this landed. Okay, here's the final look. Let's do a quick recap of the stuff that's newer to me. The brushes from bellabeautébar, I quite like. I don't think I love all of the shapes of the eyeshadow brushes, but if you were looking to get like a set of brushes at relatively affordable pricing, that's a way to go. And the fara homidi, again, I'm going to look that up before I film next time I talk about this. I really like this. The highlighter is a bit confounding to me, but I also think that my cheeks do look glossy still. Like, it hasn't just sunk into my skin. So it might be the good version of that kind of thing, which is great because if it's in there, like, we would want it to be the good version. I don't think that it looked that dewy until I sprayed my face. So I mean, I'll have to keep an eye on whether or not it's dewy, but just as a reminder, this shade in particular, the Rose Ritual, super pigmented. For my skin tone, like, I just need to go very light-handed with it, but it blended out beautifully. It still looks really good on the cheek. I like it. I just feel like I need more time to, like, play with it. I love this. I do love this. Like, I'm a big fan of this so far. I'm going to give myself some more time to play with it, but I will say just this. And it's not because of the formula. It's just the colors. This is my favorite bellabeautébar palette that I've tried. Like, I feel like we're going to be very good friends. The thing that might not make us good friends is, will it fit in my eyeshadow palette drawer? And if it doesn't, then that will piss me off. But I like this. Man, just like opening it up and just seeing that really does it for me. Still a lot of shades. Still a lot of shades for me. But a lot of shades that I will use, which I like. And so there's something to it. There is something to it. And then, no, no, no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Also, my lips still tinkle, in case you were curious. Speaking of, I like it. I like it. And then I need to play with this some more because the first time I tried it, the second time, it worked really well. So this just might require a little bit of lip prep that I did not give it the first time I used it, because I will say that probably the whole weekend that Cam was here, which is when it came in and I tried it, I was just dehydrated, and I feel like I'm now back to regular hydration, which is probably not even full hydration, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Anyway, that wraps up this video, babes. Thank you so much for watching. I actually have, before I get too far, I have a code. I probably already put it on screen. I have a code with bellabeautébar. It's just my handle, hautemesstom. It saves you 10% in case you were ever interested. But you know, that's all. That's only use it if you were already planning to buy from them. Not like just because I talked about something in this video that you were like, ooh, like take your time. So that's going to wrap up the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, subscribe. Please do. What I like to do here is focus on loving my makeup collection first and foremost before deciding to purchase something. And I want to help you build the habit and help myself build the habit, because I still struggle with that sometimes, especially as I'm navigating being on a beauty channel where I sometimes buy things for review and sometimes I get PR. And I like to do a healthy balance of like new makeup content and loving my makeup content. And I'm also introducing fashion and fragrance content into the fold. So there's going to be a lot of stuff here for you to like get your teeth into if you're new. I also have a Patreon and channel memberships. Check that out if you want to do that. No pressure. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. You don't have to do it if you don't have the money to. Either way, I do some additional content over there. And I just did a vlog. Like I just posted a vlog that was supposed to be for May that I didn't post until the beginning of June. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens, but I already know what I want to film for my June videos. So anyway, also happy Pride. I feel like I haven't said that yet. Happy Pride. Happy June. I'm just all over the place. And that's that. I'm on Instagram at hautemesstom. Check me out over there. Again, I have links down below that you can click through and help a family that needs our support right now. All right. Remember to follow your hope, and you'll find me. I'll see you in a video very soon. Go forth. Tits out.